Okay, this is now tarot lesson number 137, and it's called Chomsky and the Tarot. So I'm going to explain why it's called Chomsky and the Tarot. Then I'm going to do a Celtic cross for me at the moment, live sort of. And I'm going to look at the first 5 cards and talk about them. Then I'll turn over the next 5 so that you've got, if you want, a few days to think about what you think it all means or what you would say. And then I'll look at the next 5, the last 5 cards in the next video. So the reason it's called Chomsky and the Tarot, Noam Chomsky is a professor of linguistics, and he's old, but he's been around for a long time, and he's been studying language and different languages for a long time. And one of his ideas is that in the same way that we're sort of genetically programmed to walk and to get bigger as children develop, we also have within us the ability to speak language. It's not something you learn particularly. You learn grammar maybe if you're depending on the language that you're studying or you're learning. But he says that we automatically are creative, and that's the point I want to make. We're creative. And if you listen to what you say in an ordinary conversation, a lot of things you say have been said before, like hello and goodbye and what do you want to drink and what's for dinner, that kind of thing. A lot of what we say has been said multiple times before, but you'll be surprised if you listen to what you say and what other people say, you'll discover that it's never been said before. I know it's hard to believe, but actually so much of what we say has never been said before. So, okay, we can be talking about, let's say somebody's got a problem and they want to know what to do. The explanation that you might give, even though it's kind of similar to what other people may have said, you'll find that a lot of what you say is actually has never been said before, because you may not think you're that creative. Because you speak a language, you are totally creative. And so the title of this video is Noam Chomsky and the Tarot. And I think nobody has ever said that before. Do you know what I mean? Okay, people talk about Chomsky, and people talk about the Tarot, but I don't think people generally put the two together. So I'm saying that Noam Chomsky and the Tarot was never said before. I said it a minute ago. I mean, I said it to myself, but so I think what I want you to do is listen to what you say and pay attention to what you say, because a lot of things that you say actually have never been said before. And so with that in mind, I want to look at the Celtic cross and look at the meanings for the different card positions. And then, as I said before, with family resemblances with Wittgenstein, maybe think about the meaning or the card placement, and think about maybe ideas that have never been said before. Because I think what we're doing with the tarot, this goes back to Stefan's point a couple of weeks ago, I think it's not about knowing the meaning of a card. It's more about letting your own creativity or your own imagination give you information that you can then pass on to somebody else. So I've shuffled I'm doing a proper Celtic cross, and I shuffled twice before I set up the camera. And so this is the third time. So I'm showing you how to shuffle. Okay, card came out. It came out. I'm going to put it back. I'm having a quick look at this. We've got the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords upside down, which means, I don't know what that means, but it came up. So I'm shuffling for the third time. I put the card, I go to the left, my left, 3 piles, whatever size. I turn one. I always turn the one in the middle, and then I gather them up again. And that's me done the shuffling. Right, I'm just going to do that once or twice, only because I like to do it like that. So a Celtic cross then, card 1, 2. So that's the atmosphere surrounding the question, the obstacle, the opposing force, the foundation, if I can get the card. my method, the one I use, is following Eden Gray. So that's the foundation. The influence is passing away. What may come, what will come. The questioner right now, the influence of other people to do with the question, hopes and fears, so that's about the future, good and bad, and the final outcome. Right, so that's the Celtic cross laid. So we're going to look at the first card. This is the atmosphere surrounding the question. So in the same way that Chomsky says we are creative, instead of thinking the atmosphere, remember the idea of family resemblances. What kind of information do we want from this first card? It's the atmosphere surrounding the question. So it will give us an idea. Are we optimistic, pessimistic? Are we fearful? Do we have doubts? It can also give us an idea of what the question is about, what the situation is about. But it can also give you an idea of maybe the weather report. Is it going to be sunny? Is it raining? Is it frosty? Whatever it happens to be. So we're looking at the first card as the atmosphere surrounding the question. So you think about what you would mean if you talked about the atmosphere. If you go into a party and people are drunk, that's a certain atmosphere. If you go into another party and people are happy to be there and celebrating, that's a different atmosphere. And you've been in enough places where you go to an airport and maybe the flights have been delayed, flights have been cancelled. You know what the atmosphere is like in an airport if everything's been cancelled and everything's delayed. So think about the atmosphere surrounding the question and what kind of information you could get from this card. And it's the atmosphere. So what do I get? I get the 8 of Cups. So it's a question about leaving something behind or moving on. But we've got 5 cups and 3 cups neatly arranged. So it's about putting things in order. Or when you've got things in order, you can move on. I'm not quite sure what that means for me at the moment, but it's the atmosphere. So is it good or bad? I think it looks, well, it depends what you think about change. I like change and improvement and things not staying the same. So let's see, this is a good influence. It's about moving on. Now that things are settled or things have been put in order, move on. And we've got the moon up here. Not quite sure what to say about that. But that's the atmosphere surrounding the question. So when we look at the other cards, we're going to remember the atmosphere. So the sun card, if it comes up, is prosperity and good things happening. But it's in the atmosphere created by or described by the 8 of Cups. Do you know what I mean? It's like if the first card had been the 8 of Cups reversed and the sun card comes up in the future, it's a different future because the atmosphere is the 8 of Cups upside down. There are delays, there are obstacles, there are difficulties with the 8 upside down. Maybe things have been left undone, and that's going to be a problem in the future. So with the 8 of Cups, the second card is the opposing force. It shows what gets in the way. So think about obstacles. What does an obstacle? What is an obstacle? It's something that maybe you've got to climb over or something you've got to go around. So maybe you look at this card and think, can it be controlled? Is it strong? Is it powerful? And it's going to take a lot of effort to overcome it. So is it the kind of situation, an obstacle, maybe you've got to climb over it. There's no getting around it. You've got to deal with it face on and struggle across the top of the obstacle. But an obstacle could be narrow, and all you need to do is go around the side. So obstacle, and it's up to you what you make of the idea of the obstacle for the particular question that's been asked. And the obstacle is the Tower. So upset, sudden change, and that's what gets in the way. So it can be, I want to move on with things neatly arranged, and we have to say but because it's a Tower, but there will be unexpected difficulties or lightning flashes, sudden events or sudden conditions that maybe prevent me moving forward or moving on to a new situation. Third card is the foundation. So it can, think about foundation. A foundation can be the base of a building. So this can show what I've got, what I can build on. It's the foundation. So it's sort of in the past as well. This already happened. So you talk about it, not that it's going to be coming about, but it already came about. And it can be good, it can be bad, it can be strong, it can be weak. Maybe the foundation explains why the first card is the Eight of Cups, why I want to move on. And the foundation card is the World reversed. Okay, so the World is the last of the major trumps. It's number 21. So in its own way, it represents the end of a cycle. But it's upside down, as if maybe things didn't work out the way I wanted them to, and that's why I want to move on. Or maybe I have to continue on. I maybe want to leave and move on from something, but I can't finish because I've got unfinished business here with the World upside down. And that's the foundation. So what am I building on? It's the World, so it's good, right? Because it's the World and it's success, but it's upside down. And it's a bit like either the success has been delayed, or the success is not going to be as big as I thought it was going to be, or as enjoyable as I thought it was going to be. So that's the foundation, and something about the past. And this can be, so just looking at these three together, things not quite working out the way I wanted. I'm ready to move on, but watch out for unexpected, or watch out for things falling apart, because it's the Tower. So that's the foundation, and that's the past. And this is the influence that's passing away. So you can look and think, okay, this card leads to this one, because that's the foundation and that's what's passing away. So the disappointment maybe, or the lack of success shown by the World here, reversed, led to the Five of Swords reversed. So the Five of Swords, it's one of these cards. What do we do with it? We've got, it's a card of defeat maybe, because somebody's been defeated. Somebody's going off to comfort them. And here we've got somebody who won, but it's upside down. So it's like you try to make something happen and there are unseen consequences as a result of trying to make it happen. So maybe I won on the surface anyway, but maybe I lost as well. So that can be the kind of thing. So this goes back to Chomsky. So if I think of an example of somebody winning but also losing at the same time, I could give an example, but you could come up with an example of a circumstance where things went well for you, but a friend of yours is really disappointed because they didn't get the promotion or they didn't get the prize. And so you could talk about that kind of situation of winning. Somebody wins and somebody loses. And then I'm reminded of Bruce Springsteen saying, unless everybody wins, nobody wins. So, maybe that, obviously he said that before, but maybe not in connection with the Five of Swords. So that's the foundation. And this is what's passing away. What may come is this one, the Six of Coins, which is in a lot of ways better than this one, because this shows it's a sword, so there's hardship, and it's difficult, and it's unfair maybe, or people suffer either directly, like this person, or indirectly because he's not happy with the success, and this person's having to go off and comfort somebody else. But what may come is the Six of Coins, which shows balance and fairness and people being taken care of, because this person here is taking care of these two who are in need. And I'm looking at this Three of Coins here, the Eight of Cups, where you've got three cups here in a triangular shape, and we've got a triangular shape here. So maybe whatever, if this is going to become better, so this half of the reason for me wanting to move on gets better, because the triangular shape here is repeated up here, and this is upright. So you don't know the question. I didn't have a question. I just wanted something to do as an example. So maybe have a think about what you would say about these 5 cards. So next time, the 6th card, what will come is the Ace of Swords reversed. Me, the 9 of Coins, the influence of other people, the Queen of Coins, the hopes and fears, the 10 of Swords, and the final outcome, the Hanged Man reversed. So I'll leave that with you. See what you make of it. But maybe start with these 5 cards first and get an idea of your own version of these 5 cards. Remembering Chomsky, that you're creative, you have an ability to say things that have never been said before. And even though you're talking about experiences that we've all had, your way of describing it or explaining it or presenting it can be very different. So we're not looking at cards for the answer or for one basic meaning. We're looking at it to get an idea of the kind of activity that's going on with a particular card. So that, I think, is it for the moment. So I'll just put these back, and I'll have to pause the video and remember what these last 5 cards were. So that's it for the moment. And then I shuffle just to sort of put a full stop at the end of the sentence, and then I fold this over, and that's it for the moment. So ideally you will leave me some comments, or ideally you will think about what you would say, or what you might say about these next 5 cards, and see how that ties in with the interpretation that I will give in lesson number 138. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.